Hi guys and gals, Froggy here. I got a new staple gun because I've been doing a lot of shooting lately, and we have to put up targets and we have to staple them. And Old Faithful here is pretty hard to squeeze when you're doing a whole day's worth of shooting, and heavy. So I got the Dewalt. It's supposed to be 25% less squeeze. And the little asterisks say, compared to this one, this is a T50, T50M, whatever the M is for. And so it's supposed to be 25% squeeze, and it's supposed to be 50% less weight. So it does weigh less, but we're going to see how much. We're going to test it out. So I'm going to take this off, and we'll go from there. I do like this packaging, even though it does get... Sorry, I'm trying a new camera mount, and if I bump it, it wiggles all over the place. So hopefully I won't bump it very much, and it'll work out a little better. Anyway, it gets a little beat up in the shipping, but it's easier to take it off than that industrial bubble plastic thing that you need a chainsaw to get the tool out of. So I like this. I'm going to find a scale somewhere to measure these and take the staples out of this, so we'll go empty versus empty. Okay, I'm using my trigger scale, and I'll read it for you, and I'll see if I can get up close there. That's a little, maybe over 1.5 pounds. So we will call that, let me write it down. I'm going to call that Arrow T50 1 pound 10 ounces. And I'm going to call this one, it's under a pound. So let's see, 16, 8, 4, 3, 4 is 12, maybe 13, 12 or 13 ounces for the Dewalt. I just realized I did not have this part on the Arrow, but I'm not going to do it over again. The trigger pull gauge is only plus or minus 2 ounces. So we ended up with 26 ounces, maybe 26.25 for the Arrow and 12.5 for the Dewalt. So I'm going to give them an okay that it is half the weight. All right, good. Let's try the pull on the handle to shoot a staple. Okay, so to load this one, this is what's called bottom loading. You squeeze together this release here, pull backwards, and you just drop them in there with the pointy part facing upwards, of course. Let's see if I can show you one. I'm using little broken sections here, which are a little harder to load. Let's close it. All right. So I like that better than the T50, because the T50, you have to release this. Then you have to kind of feed them in there. Again, if you have a whole strip, it's easier, but usually my strips are broken, so I have to feed them in. And let's put some in there. I think that'll work. Sorry, bumped it again. Feed them in like that, and then you have to make sure you get that just right and shove it in and latch it like that. Now the thing about this is, when you're feeding in less than a full strip, you don't know really how much you've got in there, and then if you put too much in, then you can't close this and you got to take some out. This one, you can see here how many staples you have left. You can't see a whole strip, but you can see how many staples you have left. And there, you can see it on both sides. That's a good thing. So I'm liking the feeding better, and I'm liking that you can see how many staples are left. This one, you can't see how many staples are left until you shoot the last one, and it goes bang and nothing comes out. So, okay, so far so good. Let's shoot these into a piece of wood. So for this part of the test, I'm going to describe to you, this is a piece of plywood, so it's not soft pine, so it's a little hard to go into. And I wasn't really holding correct pressure on it. So the staple didn't go in all the way, but I'm not going to blame that on the gun. I'm going to blame that on this rigged up device that I did. So I took this luggage scale and I wrapped this end around the top of the handle, all right, like this way, okay, and then I pulled myself with my body weight on the other end, and it doesn't record the pounds, so I'll have to tell you it was about 30.5 pounds to make it go off, and I'll show you how the staple went in. Yeah, as I said, I'm not blaming the penetration on the T50 because I had to kind of rig it up there and I wasn't putting proper pressure on that business end of the gun. Okay, let's try the other one. I had to add a little strap because on the Dewalt, the handle has to get very close to the body of the tool before it goes off. On the T50, it only had to come like maybe between 1/2 and 3/8 of an inch close to the body, but here it had to get really close. But I did get a reading of 24 pounds, and it went off, and so that's less. I could definitely tell it was less just from my own feeling of it. So let's go back and summarize. So that was the last staple that went in on the Dewalt. Actually, that was the best staple out of all of them. And remember, I'm not measuring how well the staples go into the wood. Number one, because I'm only going into cardboard, so I don't really care. And this is the plywood, which is, maybe it's tougher than the wood you would use. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But the technique was lacking as far as making these go in. Let's see if I can do one holding it the right way. Okay, so here's one holding it the right way. There's a Dewalt. Well, let's put a little more pressure on it. Yeah, it doesn't really go in all the way to the plywood. Let's try the T50. Actually, it goes in a little better than the T50. So, let's see what we got here. So I hope most of that was in frame. Apologize if it's not, but I'm trying a new mount for the camera. So, results. Here's our tests in the T50 and the Dewalt. So, does it weigh less? Yes, pretty much per the manufacturer's claim. Squeeze less? Yes. There's my test, which is not a perfect test, but it was about 30 pounds to fire off the T50, about 24 to fire off the Dewalt. Dewalt, it seems like you did have to squeeze it a little tighter, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. Cool factor, Dewalt, they said it's carbon fiber. If it is, I've never seen carbon fiber quite like this, because maybe it is. I hate to be skeptical, but it's got all this nice little cross-hatchy stuff that's supposed to look like carbon fiber. Then you go around the corner here, and it's gone. So obviously this is just some imprinting that they did in a mold. Underneath that, is it carbon fiber? I don't know. If you know for sure, please put it down in the comments. I would love to know. Durability. That's kind of a big one. Maybe, maybe not. I did see one report where somebody dropped the Dewalt and the handle broke. Now, it seems pretty sturdy to me, but this is steel. So I think this is going to, and this, I've owned this for probably over 30 years. So this is definitely durable. Oh, loading. I forgot loading. Loading ease, and let's add that on the other side. So I just made another extension to the page here. For loading ease, I just put a frown, because it's hard to load this one, and a little easier if you have a full strip, I guess. The Dewalt, very easy with a full strip, and even with broken strips, pretty decent compared to this one. And you also know just how many to put in there. Out of staples, frown for that one, because you never know until you're out. Smile for this one, because it's got the little window. So I think we have a winner, and I would love to have some of your comments, and also comments on how I put together the videos. I know I'm not Project Farm. I mean, he's my hero and my mentor, but this is something he actually left out. He did a lot more with power staplers, so I thought I'd add this little detail to the whole question of staplers. Okay, give me a thumbs up or like if this helps you out. Subscribe to my channel if you want more from Froggy. Ring the bell if you want notification. Be safe. Have fun. Let's go, Brandon. Froggy out. Bye-bye.